everyone, and you're listening to Travel Talks with goSTOPS, where we will document India's unique travel stories. If you're someone who loves traveling, or is in adventure tourism, or are curious about sustainable traveling, wildlife photography, or wants to travel solo but haven't got any opportunity yet, then this podcast is specially for you. In each episode, we will invite travelers to share their journey and some skills which they have developed with their epic experiences and travel tales. Each of our episodes will be out every Wednesday. So stay tuned on Spotify, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
So good morning, everyone. My name is Pragya, and we are back with another episode of Travel Talks with goSTOPS. In today's episode, we have a very strong Musafir with us who was traveling the world and breaking all the norms until she had to face her own hardship that stopped her from doing something she loved the most, traveling. And today, after fighting all her monsters, she's back traveling the world. We are very keen to tell you her story by having a conversation with her on how a Musafir fought depression and traveling was her reason to get back. Hi, Shyamli, welcome to the podcast.
Hi. And thank you for having me.
How do you define your love for travel?
It's like oxygen. It's like water. I cannot go without it. I cannot. You kill me, but I cannot stop traveling.
I completely understand and relate to that. So cheers to more traveling.
Yes.
As we say that home is the safest place we have, right? Let our listeners know on your journey about how being in a toxic home environment can be a trauma for life.
I was born and brought up in Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh. I still have those glimpses in my mind, which will never go away. I was a cute, happy child, surrounded by people all the time. And then suddenly, when I was 6, I lost my dad to cancer. Things completely changed after that. And at 6, utna samajh nahi hota hai. So many responsibilities, bank, house, tax, and my mother. I was not prepared for it. So after my dad passed away, aisa hua ki my family members were staying with me at my place. So I never had any siblings. कोई सगा भाई बहन नहीं था. कोई घर में as such earning member नहीं था. And even today my mother is 69 years of age. So she's quite old. And back then, 2015, I was very young, innocent, and unaware of everything. तो मेरा environment बहुत toxic था. There was nobody who could understand or nobody who could help us. So बचपन में कुछ cousins साथ में ही रहते थे. मतलब वो पापा के टाइम से रहते थे मम्मी के साथ मेरे साथ. But after that, all that became very toxic. My entire childhood was ruined because of them. I'm not targeting or I'm not pointing out, but they know who they are. As I grew up, all I noticed was there was no freedom for me. घर से निकलने का freedom नहीं है, किसी से बात करने का freedom नहीं है, घर के gate तक जाने का freedom नहीं है. And if I ever stepped out till the gate, I was badly beaten. My entire childhood was a torture. All the negativity and everything. My mother is a pensioner. Pension aata. She can only take care of herself and me. She cannot take care of other people. Every time there were so many fights, and also I was a bright child till 8th. So after 8th, I wasn't a bright child. मतलब so everybody started pinpointing at me कि अब तुम्हारे marks नहीं आते हैं, ये नहीं आते हैं. But nobody understood उसका reason क्या है. क्योंकि घर का माहौल ही नहीं है पढ़ने लायक. कैसे पढ़ूंगी, कैसे नंबर लाऊं? मेरा मन लगता ही नहीं है घर में. मुझे घर के नाम से ऐसे ना डर लगने लगता था. It was like a phobia कि घर नहीं जाना है. He would be there, he would beat me. Then he got married, his wife came over, children came over. Then all the time there were fights, and somebody is trying to commit a suicide, somebody is trying to hang themselves, somebody is trying to jump and everything. Next day was my board exam, 12th board exam. I absolutely was blank. I wrote nothing, just my roll number, my name, and submitted the paper. And I knew कि मुझे pass certificate not awarded आएगा. And वही हुआ, but I was mentally prepared क्योंकि we need peace to study, man. जब ऐसा हुआ, पूरा childhood ऐसे निकलता गया. I remember my 8th, my 9th, my 10th, 11th, and 12th, watching all this negativity, being beaten for no reason, being tortured, being like my freedom was snatched away. I didn't have freedom. Basic, एकदम basic कुछ नहीं था. Nobody was there to support me for anything. Even एक छोटा सा maths का problem के लिए there was nobody I could look up to कि hey, can you help me? Or hey, can you drop me there? Or hey, can you give me a 10 rupee note? nobody. So it was all on me, all alone by myself. Then जब ये सब हुआ, I knew about NIOS, National Institute of Open Schooling. मैंने पहले ही फॉर्म भर दिया. I sorted my 12th out. Something happened to me that one day. I just pushed everybody, all these toxic people, away from my house, away from my life, that get out. It was like some Devi Roop, I'll tell you. कुछ तो हुआ था उस दिन मुझे. I fought for my freedom because I couldn't take it. I couldn't. These are just words, mere words. I'm telling you how my childhood was. Still kept a lot of humanity that I didn't do anything big against, because I could do a lot. I could ruin their lives. Like they ruined my childhood, but I know I'm a very human person. I'm more human than anybody I've ever come across. Anybody. So I just asked them कि आप भाई निकल जाइए आप. यहाँ नहीं हो पाएगा. So that's how my childhood was badly fucked. But then my school life got over. जैसे घर से सब निकाला, it was just me and my mother. मम्मी को भी दिखने लगे सबके रंग. Things started changing. Then I wanted to go for NIFT because I've always been a very artistic person.
Guys, if you don't know that Shyamli is a graduate in fashion communication and also a snowboarder. I mean, what is this combination of subjects, Shyamli? Also, like, was your passion was into fashion or was it for traveling? Like, how did this got together?
As you know, मुझे कभी freedom नहीं था. So that kept growing inside. कि freedom चाहिए, freedom चाहिए, freedom चाहिए, full freedom चाहिए. जब मैंने drop किया अपना पहला साल NIFT के लिए, मैंने अपनी coaching करी. I worked really hard. Like I rubbed my ass off to get into NIFT, crack a good rank, get into a good college, and go for fashion communication. I did it. मैं मनाली में थी कहीं. अचानक से result वगैरह आया and I was not qualified. And nobody was telling me from my coaching, my teachers, my friends, nobody was telling me because they only were shocked कि इसका कैसे नहीं हुआ. I was taken aback. मतलब हिल गई थी मैं अंदर से. That board failure didn't shook me. This did. Because I really worked hard for it that 1 year. क्योंकि मुझे सब कुछ अच्छे से था. I had my freedom, I had my good mental space and everything. But then my teachers, they said कि वो एक और साल drop करो शामली, and they would not charge me for another year. मेरा फिर दूसरा साल drop. But then I guess this was meant to happen कि शामली के 2 साल वैसे drop होंगे ताकि शामली ends up in NIFT श्रीनगर. और अब जब मेरा सिलेक्शन होना था उसी साल निफ्ट श्रीनगर खुला, द न्यू ब्रांच ऑफ निफ्ट, एंड आई वाज द फर्स्ट वन टेकिंग द फर्स्ट सीट फॉर निफ्ट श्रीनगर एफसी. आई वाज लाइक yes, it was meant to happen. This is destiny.
Exactly, everything happens for a reason.
So before Kashmir happened, I went to Ladakh as a pillion rider on a bullet from Kanpur to Ladakh. Then I also went to Nepal, Kanpur to Nepal, before beginning my college life. Then Kashmir happened, and then I never looked back. Then I started traveling all across the valley. जब भी vacation या कुछ ऐसा होता था, I used to travel to other parts of the country to cover all the states of India. I did a cross-country ride from Kanpur to Bhutan on bike as a pillion rider and a rider friend of mine. And we were the first one to do that winter ride.
What was motivating you to continue this travel?
My curiosity could be anything. I saw a picture somewhere. Oh my God, I have to go and see this. ये असलियत में कैसा दिखता है? Just anything could, intrigue me so much that I will save it and I will not rest till I do it. It's just my curiosity, I would say. And then my travel and everything, I found my purpose of life. Like, this is what brings me to life, man. This is what keeps me sane, and this is what keeps me crazy. I got my purpose. Finally, I found my purpose.
And how did travel creation came into play?
In Kashmir itself, as I am a student of fashion communication, it's all about graphic designing and visual arts and photography. So that's how I started using Instagram and became quite known in the valley. Now I'm more focused on YouTube and Instagram because I want to grow here on the platform and make it my a source of income for myself so that I can travel freely. माँ बाप नहीं हुए, अच्छा चाइल्डहुड नहीं मिला, पैसे नहीं थे, सपोर्ट नहीं था, फिर भी यही कहूंगी, it's not impossible. It's not impossible. You just don't give up. Then the journey of snowboarding and skiing began in Kashmir. So once I went to Gulmarg in winter and I saw they were boarding down and skiing down that big white mountain. I was like, I want to be that one. I want to do that. I want to know how it feels. So that's it. That's where I began skiing. Then I began snowboarding. So I completed my basic and my intermediate course. And this January, 2023 January, is my advanced course for snowboarding.
So, as you've already mentioned, that lockdown was not a
Yeah.
very amazing period for you, and it was a very difficult period for you. So, would you like to talk about
Very.
how has lockdown been for you? Was that also a point where you first time realized that okay, you're going through something which is called depression or clinical depression?
Yes, it was. So what happened was I remember जब lockdown हुआ उससे पहले 370 का lockdown हम देख चुके हैं. Even I was airlifted by the army in a cargo plane during 370. So I don't think so किसी को ऐसा experience मिला होगा. Then Corona happened, lockdown happened. I was all alone by myself in my flat in Srinagar. Thankfully, I met a local family, and I'm still so close to them, and I'm so thankful that I met them. But during all this while, I was so stressed about my jury, my studies, and I didn't have enough money to get a laptop. And lockdown में तो सब फंसे हैं, सब बंद है. I did a fundraise on Keto. I raised around 1 lakh rupees for ration and medicines for people in during COVID times. But I didn't have money for myself. I couldn't get a laptop for myself. That's when I guess I had my first trigger. इसी stress की वजह से मुझे पहला trigger हुआ. I just fainted and I woke up after 1 or 2 hours, and it was very painful. I was trying to make a relationship work out, and I was giving my 100%, more than 100%, that it has to work out. But this one was something, I don't know, I was not ready to give up upon. I still remember the date, 26th December 2020. I had a I had a pathetic trigger. My entire body, within seconds, it just turned red and it bloated. And I was coughing. My windpipe got swollen. I was not able to breathe, and my backbone started aching. And so much heat. I felt so much of pressure on my brain. I thought like it's gonna burst. कुछ हो जाएगा मतलब. I was like, I couldn't move, or I just laid still. I remember, and I was begging God कि भगवान मतलब उठा लो ये ऐसे तड़पाओ नहीं मुझे. मतलब I don't know what this is. Then entire 2021, I just spent on visiting doctors, doing 10,000 tests, and कुछ नहीं निकलता था. Nothing, कुछ नहीं निकलता था. Then finally, I went to a neurologist. He said कि anxiety या mind से related कुछ है. तब मुझे दिमाग में ऐसे हुआ कि yes bro, you need some medical help in the right direction. मेरा convocation November में था in Kashmir, Srinagar. January तक I stayed there for my snowboarding. I came back to Kanpur. I had a job here. I started working here. I also started my therapy. I used to go for treks. एक दो trips piti चले गए. I used to travel, but I didn't feel myself. I always used to feel there's something in my head. There's something in my head. कुछ तो ऐसा feel होता था. मतलब it was so far the toughest time of my existence. I was also diagnosed with this heat allergy, acute urticaria. So जितने 4-5 महीने मैंने कानपुर में बिताए, every second day I had an allergy attack. So I just found out कि Kanpur is not the place for me. Then I had an opportunity in Dehradun. Over there I moved, but then the brand got shut. And immediately I got an offer in Bangalore. And finally I moved to Bangalore.
Throughout this period, who was supporting you financially, or who was the take care of financial support for you?
It was me, again, all on me. I was freelancing photo shoots or videos or just some random projects. Finally, when Bangalore happened, I guess Kashmir के बाद अगर मुझे कोई जगह पसंद आई है, that's Bangalore. And within 3 months, I have started feeling so good, so well, that I have said yes to this podcast.
I feel lucky to be hosting someone like you. I mean, your story has been so inspiring for a lot of us.
Thank you.
So, if someone is going through a similar phase, so what are the advice that you would like to give?
First thing, it's not going to last forever. Second thing, you will start observing it yourself that there is something wrong in your head, in your body, in your mind, that you're not feeling how you used to be. You're not reacting how you used to be. I guess that's the point where you realize you need medical help. I'm not that technically, उतना technically knowledge नहीं है, but one warning from your body, from your mind is enough for you to know. And thank God I had a realization that there is something wrong. and acceptance, okay, that I have been in depression. That's, I guess that's the major thing. लोग इतने इतने फ्रस्ट्रेटेड मैं देखती हूँ अपने सराउंडिंग में, आज समझती हूँ इतने फ्रस्ट्रेटेड हैं, बात भी नहीं है कुछ ऐसी ना, and इतना भड़क गए. तो I guess everybody needs help, everybody needs, but first step is realization and acceptance, then comes your diagnosis, your treatment, recovery, healing. That comes later. But I would say प्लीज अपने दिमाग से ये निकाल दो कि तुम हमेशा ऐसे ही रहोगे, एंड फाइंड, talk to someone. I am always open to talk to people who have something like this. I'm still recovering because healing is a very slow process. It's a very slow process.
Seeing you
Yeah.
like this, it gives us a belief that nothing is going to last long and you can be as inspiring as you are, Shyamli. So thank you so much for giving us an
Thank you.
inspiration that life is going to be beautiful.
So I just went to Banaras because बहुत टाइम से गंगा आरती देखने का मन था. Traveling after so long, after almost 3 years, I went solo and saw the Ganga Aarti, traveled across Banaras, and now I came home to see my mother. And so yeah, it's
Perfect.
life is beautiful.
Life is beautiful. So what is your motivation going with travel ahead?
So for now, I have plans to travel across the country. I want to travel India and its neighboring countries, and then I want to move to Europe. My dream. I anyway have to go to Europe. Masters के through चली जाऊँ, कैसे चली जाऊँ, I have to go to Europe. I'm not saying I want to settle there or something, but that's my target.
Personally, it has been so inspiring for me, the whole journey.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shyamli. It was amazing being with you.
If you want us to talk about any interesting subject, we would love to hear from you. So DM us on our social media channels, and that's it. Thank you guys for listening to us. Love, goSTOPS.